Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, Simic Tempo. So this is actually one of the decks that I've been having on a back burner for a while that I wanted to try out, but I never really gotten around to it. I think I just forgotten. I really love this deck. It's very aggressive tempo with a lot of interactions. So the idea is that we have cards like Tolarian and Eddymurk Crab, which can be very easy to cast once we have a lot of instant sorceries in our graveyard, because they all cost one less for each instant sorcery. So that means I can cast a Tolarian for just 1, or a Eddymurk Crab for 2 mana. Now the Terror is a 5/5 ward, and then the Crab is a 5/5 at flash speed. Both have their own sort of utility, right? Lots of Tolarian makes an opponent very difficult to sort of answer, and then Eddymurk Crab makes it so that our opponent has a hard time answering at instant speed. And of course, these crabs and these terrors are backed up by a very fast aggressive shell that will get those into our hands and instant sorceries into our graveyard with cards like bounce spells, unsummon, Into the Flood Maw, and cards like draw spells like Opt or Seed of Hope. And then we also have cards to fetch lands with Bushwhack, and then and Cash Grab, of course. And then we can combo that with Up the Beanstalk, which will be able to draw cards every time we play a Tolarian Terror or Eddymurk Crab. Now, in addition to all of that, we also have the combo of the Stormchaser talent and This Town Ain't Big Enough. This Town Ain't Big Enough costs 2 mana if we target a permanent we control and a permanent our opponent controls. So we can bounce our opponent's permanent and bounce our own Stormchaser's talent. And then along with that, we can then pay 4 mana to break level this up to level 2, which then we can return an instant sorcery from our graveyard. We return This Town Ain't Big Enough, and we cycle that process over and over. Every time bouncing a permanent our opponent controls, drawing a card with Up the Beanstalk, and getting damage in with Tolarian Terror and Eddymurk Crab. So that's the whole idea of this deck. Now let's go into the deck, the deck list. Early game, for tempo play, we have 4 Stormchaser's talent, which will give us a 1/1 otter. Don't look down on those 1/1 otters. They have prowess, and they can very quickly ramp out of control. Right? So that's our turn 1 play. Along with that, we also have 4 Bushwhack. You always want to turn 1 Bushwhack if you have it in your hand and nothing else, because this fetches a land. Yes, that's not the great part. The great part is that it puts a sorcery into your graveyard and makes your Tolarian Terror potentially cost less in the future, along with the crabs. Right? So that is good turn 1 play. Of course, we also have instant speed turn 1 plays that we're going to hold up. We have 4 Opt and 4 Seed of Hope that we can hold up, that we can eventually play on our opponent's turn to either scry 1 and draw a card, or Seed of Hope to mill 2 cards and then put a permanent card milled that way into our hand. So things like our Crab, our Terror, or a land even, we can put that into our hand. Or Up the Beanstalk, those are a useful card to put in our hand. So all of these are turn 1 plays that we want to actively play on turn 1, either on our turn, the Stormchaser or the Bushwhack, or on our opponent's turn, like the Seed of Hope or the Opt. Right? Then we have some interactions. Interactions like Into the Flood Maw or for Unsummon. These are very useful cards. Let me put this aside for now. These are very useful cards for interacting with our opponent. Of course, Unsummon bounce our opponent's creature, and Into the Flood Maw can bounce anything. If they have a black ley line, we definitely want to get rid of that because we need our graveyard. Into the Flood Maw can do just that. Right, so that's our turn 1 play. On the interaction side, if our opponent happens to go first, which is every game, but you know how we make do. Turn 2, we have 4 Up the Beanstalk for card draw and 4 Cash Grab to put cards into our graveyard, very important for this deck, and also then get a permanent card back. So things like Stormchaser, Up the Beanstalk, or our Terror or our Crab. And then turn 3 and on, we have This Town Ain't Big Enough, which we want to pay for only 2 mana, but we can only do that on turn 3 and on when we have something on board. So we might be able to do it on turn 2 by bouncing a Stormchaser's talent, but obviously you don't want to do that immediately on turn 2 unless you absolutely have to. Then we have the Tolarian Terror and Eddymurk Crab we want to pay for with 3 or less mana. So we need to have 4 or more instant sorcery in the graveyard to get these out much quicker. But when we do, they trigger Up the Beanstalk for an additional card draw, and we can protect them with This Town Ain't Big Enough, bouncing that and protecting ourselves from our opponent's potential board wipe. Now, in addition to all of those, This Town Ain't Big Enough, it says if it targets a permanent you control, but it doesn't say 1. You can target 2 things you control. You can use This Town Ain't Big Enough to bounce your Tolarian Terror and your Stormchaser's talent, and then if they're trying to board wipe you, they don't get anything. And then you can replay the talent, replay the Terror, level up the talent to level 3 or level 2 to get This Town Ain't Big Enough back to your hand, and do that whole process over and over and make your opponent hate their life. That's the whole idea. Now, we have one additional card in Analyze the Pollen. This is an additional Bushwhack, technically, right? Because it searches for basic land. But if we are into the mid to late game and we happen to mill a few of these big creatures into our graveyard, we can also collect Evidence 8 and search for another crab or another terror and put it into our hand, which will help us kind of tempo out a little bit faster. So that's the whole idea. Land base, extremely quick. We got 18 lands total. We have 5 islands, 1 forest, 4 Botanical Sanctum, 4 Hedge Maze, and 4 Yavimaya Coast to make sure that we never flood. Now, we might get mana screwed, but that's okay, right? The idea is that we don't need that much lands in this deck. Bushwhack gets us the lands we need. Analyze the Pollen gets us the land we need. All we need is 2 lands to play up the Beanstalk, and everything else will technically just come into play as soon as we can fill our graveyard. So we don't need that many lands. We don't want to flood out, so we want to have as little lands as possible. So that's the whole idea. The Botanical Sanctum is very fast. Yavimaya Coast is very fast. They never come into play tap in the early games. Hedge Maze does come into play tap, but that's okay because it's Surveil. So we can look at a top card if it's an instant sorcery, put that into the graveyard. If it's the Seed of Hope, put that into the graveyard. We don't need it. We need a big graveyard for our Terror and our Crabs. That's the whole idea of the deck. Now let's go into the games. Alright, our opponent is Murakami the Ghost. Okay. They're a ghost. They ghost up no lands for us. But we do have a Sanctum that we can use that on the Seed of Hope. And hopefully get somewhere. That's such a idea for a basic land. That's good enough. We'll go high. Are we going first? Okay. Do we analyze the Pollen here? No, we Stormchaser's Talon first. We could easily just top deck a land and don't have to worry. If we don't top deck a land, then we will analyze the Pollen for a land. Right, that's the idea. We got a land. We go up that Beanstalk. And we gotta opt. Things are popping off. They're, what is that, Zorius? Are they the combo deck or are they control? We got crabs. Okay, what do I want to do here? So none of these really draws. Analyze the Pollen gives me a land that I might need. So I'm going to get a blue land, right? So I will Stormchaser first. Actually, it doesn't matter. This is not going to get me anywhere. So maybe we Seed of Hope first. Mill 2 cards. If we get a land, I don't... This is an instant speed card. So maybe I will Analyze the Pollen. That's kind of tricky, right? I want to use this for... Nah. Don't know if I'll ever get there, so let me just use this to search for a land if I need to. We only got islands, so let's get those islands. And we play a land, and then we will attack. No interactions. No interactions, so I'm gonna play the other talent. Yeah, slower prowess, I do miss 1 damage, but I don't know, he could have interacted. Big Lock Prankster. What's he gonna return here? The reanimation spell? He returns a reanimation spell. So I guess we opt, right? Opt is more useful than Seed of Hope. They're both kind of useful on their own. Haughty Jin, that's fine. I will... Do I do anything here? Just I'll mill 2. I want cards in my graveyard. Return of Crabs. Mr. Crabby. Alright, so I'm gonna... I can actually fight, huh? Can I actually fight? No. So I'm gonna say that this town ain't big enough for your Jin. It needs to go back. I'll draw 2 cards. Hey, one of them is a land. Cool. I can play the land here. Then I'll play the talent. It gives more buff. More damage on board. Takes 6. That's a lot. He can play the Jin and hold up a counterspell or something. That's what he's gonna do. We'll go to my turn here. That's a maze. A maze is not going to do much. So I'm going to... What if it counters my op? Right? I can Bushwhack to deal some damage to this. You can also level up to return something, but that's not very useful. I need to kill the Haughty Djinn this turn or win this turn. So if he counters this opt... I don't think he's going to counter an opt. But he doesn't know that he needs to counter. Seed of Hope. That's a card that I like. Now I can Seed of Hope. Oh, you can just quit. That works for me too. GG. Alright, our opponent is... the Wizard. He is allergic to vows. We're gonna go first. That's cool. Stormchaser talent, also cool. Then we have a Coast. That's fine too. No up to Beanstalk. That's the only downside, but I can play with this. Let me say hi. Let's chase up some talents. Let's see where this is going. If only there is a card that reduces the level up by some mana. Oh, that's a pretty cool card. Alright, what are we doing here? Am I playing an Opt? Or a Seed of Hope? Am I playing a Seed of Hope this turn? I think I am, right? So, let's play a Seed of Hope. I can return a Tolarian Terror. I would like to have a land, but this is fine too. I don't need to unsummon anything. What is this? Tarnished Vista? Oh. Okay. Big Red? Is that what's going on here? They're going to be playing something. Roaring Furnace. Deals damage equal to the number of cards. Alright, so my little guy is dead. No saving that. If that's the case, we will try to opt into a land or something. Opt into an opt? No thanks. Beanstalk. Ooh, boy. Okay. That's a cool card. That's a cool card to get. I am mana screwed, but let's see. Nope. Wow. Okay. Fine. At least I got the town. And then the Tolarian Terrors. We'll get somewhere with those eventually. What does it do? Oh, it pays 5 mana to make it a card draw engine. That's kind of slow. Will they play anything for 3 mana? Bitter Reunion. I don't like that at all. He discards a card. What does he discard here? That is weird. Okay. And then he Bushwhacks for a land. Well, at least he has Bushwhack for a land. I don't. I got nothing into nothing here. Bitter Reunion is not very useful. I don't know if I want to bounce the Bitter Reunion. Seed of... Oh, come on. Cannot get lands for the life of me. Nope. Cannot get lands even with that. Okay. Well, our Tolarian Terror costs 2. So that's important. If they play a creature to the Bitter Reunion, we can bounce it. I'm not sure if I want to bounce that, though. It's going to get value off of that. Stormchaser's Talons. Anything else? You can sack it to give it haste. That would be a weird play. Man, we're totally mana screwed this game. We dropped 16 cards. There was 2 lands. A Hedge Maze that got milled by the Seed of Hope. I could have gotten back instead of the Terror, but come on. Are you roping this seriously? Come on. What, are you seriously roping this? Now, what kind of board wipe do they have? Probably the Ill-Timed Explosion. Still gotta do it, I think. I'll unsummon this. It does make my Tolarian Terror cost 1, right? And that would be pretty useful. And here comes the ropes. Do people with Jace Avatar just think slower? They always rope. They don't even rope well. What kind of play would you have? It's an unsummon. You're going to protect a 1-1? I doubt you would do that. But they're going to do it anyways. Just rope out this whole thing. Waste everybody's time. Alright, it's gone. I do like the second up to Beanstalk, but I can't afford to play it. So, time for the Tolarian Terror. Another Seed of Hope. Time for another Tolarian Terror. Still no lands. I've drawn 20 cards. I've got 2 lands. So yeah, that's the game. This happens, right? This definitely happens. Does he not have enough? He doesn't. He's got 2 cards in his graveyard. Alright, so he's gonna get a land. Do they have an Ill-Timed Explosion here? Do they have Ill-Timed Explosions in this deck at all? These questions and more next time on Dragon Ball Z. Really? That only helps me. I'm not sure about that, but this... Dude. I guess I attack first. There's nothing to kind of stop me from attacking, right? So... Does he not block? Alright, we got a thinker here for the blocks. Really, for the Thunder Trap trainer? I don't know, man. He has 5 lands to my 2. I also have Bushwhacks in this deck, so I'm way more than 24 lands. No. Also, we Seed of Hope, so those are also not lands. Yeah, the Shuffler decided we must lose this game, I guess. They're gonna rope this out. Oh, there's the blocking. Oh, look at that, a land. More lands. Ah, I played a land too fast. Did I? Yeah, because this would have come into play untapped. That's an extra damage. Not only an extra damage that I didn't have to take there, but also that land's going to come into play tab next turn, which is not good. No bueno. Okay, he's going to target one of these terrors, probably. Pay it. And I bounce it. I'm not letting my terrors die. That's all I have. Be nice. Okay, well this land will come into play untapped. The first thing I want to do is attack. This is an instant, right? Yeah, good. Oh, he's still roping. The wizard. You're allergic to vows? Are you also allergic to the, pass priority button? Jesus. What can he even do here? Probably has an unsummon. Or, what's the other one called? Okay, that's fine. Just quit too. I was playing off 2 lands and you still died. So, That says something about the way you play your deck. Alright, our opponent is Dr. Yan. Dr. Yan Itor. Okay, Dr. Yan Itor gets to go first. I got a Beanstalk, which can help accelerate these, but nothing really to get them out. Do I Bushwhack for a land? It's not actually a great hand, right? There's a lot of dead cards. And if our opponent borrows, this will actually make me fall behind. So I'm going to mulligan this. It's better. I guess we'll put back a cash grab. It's not great. Or do I put back a Tolarian Terror? And hope that the cash grab gets us there. Because that's 8 cards of putting to the graveyard, right? Or do we put back an Unsummon? Maybe I just put back... This town ain't big enough. Yeah, Unsummon can work faster. Dr. Yan Itor, what's going on here? Man, 2 cash grabs feels bad. Alright. Fine. Guess we're gonna have to Sanctum it up. There's the mouse. There's the mouse that ruins our life. He's gonna get a double strike Valiant trigger. Do we bounce this? We take 4 here? No, we gotta bounce it. Oh boy. Okay. I need that town now. Don't think the cash grab is as good here. But maybe we'll mill like 4 spells. No, double Heartfire here. Jesus. What kind of battle is this? I'll take the 1. We'll grab some cash. Guess we'll return a Stormchaser. Sort of a blocker, right? We'll Hedge Maze. Seed of Hope. We'll toss that. Makes our Tolarian Terror cost 2. That's marginally useful. Not really, but here it is, right? It's a blocker. Here it comes. No? Okay. So we pumps. We trade. He doesn't get the double strike and we trade it, so that's good. I can cash grab and return something. Maybe that will be useful here. Either way, my Tolarian Terror is going to cost 1 because the cash grab goes in the graveyard. Or do I need to Stormchaser's Talent? I think I need to Stormchaser's Talent, right? That gives more blocker on board. Which might be relevant here. And then we will Hedge Maze. The land can go. And we'll Tolarian Terror. Out. Potential blocker here. Still gonna die soon. There's only 2 terrors left in the deck. There's 2 crabs. Maybe we can crab party it. I could get an Unsummon back. I don't know how useful that would be. Actually pretty useful against a Heartfire hero. They just want to attack here. Blind attacks. Where is he going to get? Double strike? Okay. So you have another Trampler. No attacks? Yo. We get to draw a land. I don't think it matters if I don't draw a land, right? So, let's go for it. That's not a land, but it can give me another card. Don't have time for that, though. Let's Terror into another land, hopefully. No, an Opt. Okay, well, we'll pass turn. We have 2 Terror, and an Op, and a Beanstalk. I do want to level the Stormchaser up. Double strike? Still no attack. You sure you want to do that? You're getting into a scenario where it's risky for you to not have something to play. Okay. So I do want to level the Stormchaser's talent up. But if I do it right now for an unsummon, he will know what's going on. And I don't want to let him know that. So maybe I Beanstalk first. And I might be able to draw into something good here. Can I though? Very risky, right? There's lots of unsummons and small towns in the deck. And I draw into one. I like to draw into a small town. An unsummon will do, to be fair, right? An unsummon will do. So if I attack with a terror, it's kind of scary. I'm just going to pass turn here. You can get a big enough Heartfire hero to do something. Gonna give it double strike. Just an attack. Or chump. It's not trample. I'll leave the unsummon for now, because I'd like to have that. Alright, then we'll cash grab. Mill 4. Then we'll draw a card here. Probably just a land. Then we'll also opt. Do we also opt? This is end turn, right? I can just unsummon one of these. I'll unsummon a hero, because it's a little bit scarier right now. Yeah, I'm going to have to bounce this hero whenever it next attacks me anyway, so let's get rid of it. You can pump it, but I don't know if he's going to sack it. Lightning strike my face. Alright. Pretty low on life, but the Seed of Hope should help. Seed of Hope should help a little bit, but there's no life gain in this deck, right? So I'm going to have to Seed of Hope and hope that I get there? That sounds bad. Alright, so what do I do here? I got to get there somehow. Alright, I'm going to play the coast. Then I'm going to level up this coast. Or not the coast. I'm going to level up the Stormchaser's talent. And bring back... I thought I had a big town here. I don't have a town, I put it back. Ooh, okay. That was not the best thing I could have done. Maybe I get a Bushwhack. Right, I just get a Bushwhack. And I want to whack off your mouse. This sounds wrong. They have plays? How could they have plays? They have no lands. Okay. What is a 6? Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create an otter. Need something. Okay. Take 3. Would you like to attack for that 1 damage? You do. No, yes, no, yes. Nothing, huh? Well, I'm gonna Seed of Hope it. Mill 2 cards here. I get a Tolarian Terror. That's pretty good. But not gonna be lethal yet. I play the Terror, so I draw a card. I draw 2 cards. No Seeds of Hope here. No Seeds of Hope here. But oh, I mean, these are also tap lands. Okay, that's annoying. So I gotta go Stormchaser's Talent. And I have to play a tap land, right? We Surveil. This can go. I just died to the next Lightning Strike, which definitely isn't fun for me. Does he have the 3rd Lightning Strike here? I did get all 4 Terrors, so that's only fair. But if he doesn't have the 3rd Lightning Strike, I might be able to get out of this. he has a third lightning strike, I die. No third lightning strike, which is good. Now what does he plan on doing? Attacks. I'm gonna go down to 3. He's got 1 mana. What can he do here? It's probably a pump spell, right? I'm just gonna put everything in front of the higher claw. Oh, okay, just quit. That's nice. I don't know what you were doing, Dr. Yan, but you were definitely not Dr. Yan Itor. He would have won this game. Alright, our opponent is Kid Kaito. Do you have a card called Kid Kaito? Now, opponent goes first. Ooh, look at that. That never happens before. Alright, we got a 1-drops in our hand, and we have a bounce spell against whatever the hell they're playing. Might be useful. Got 2 bounce spells. Now we can kind of fling them back and forth. See what they're doing. If there's pumps, we need to bounce. If there's no pumps, we can kind of hold still. Emberheart Challenger. Now, do I bounce any of these? I think I hold, right? Seed of Hope here. What can I get? 2 lands. Well, that's kind of a pointless card, but it happened. 3 unsummons. Now, if I get a Terror here, that actually would be useful, but of course I don't. Manifold Mouse. Do I unsummon 1? Because that takes on my whole turn. Yeah, I guess so. If I unsummon 1, I unsummon both. If I unsummon 1, I unsummon both. Gonna make him play an awkward turn. Just gonna play a Challenger with a white mana up to protect. You know he has no pump spell, he's just got a protection spell. Cash grab. What do we return here? The Crab? Probably the Crab, right? Pretty useful card. Go to my turn. I also got a Beanstalk. Okay, so now Crab only costs 2. I can play the Beanstalk and then still have the Crab to tap cards. It's pretty useful here. If he has a protection spell, it's even better. Just going to play the double Manifold Mouse. He is just going to play the double Manifold Mouse. Alright, before he goes to combat, I can play the Crab. I will tap your Challenger and the Offsummon is a Scavenger. Pump if you want. Alright, still a bunch of dead cards to be honest, but Bushwhack can get rid of one thing. Maybe the mouse, maybe the Challenger. Target creature I control, fights target creature I don't control. I am kind of afraid of the Manifold Mouse, but Emberheart Challenger is... No, it's gotta get rid of this. Alright, then I hold up a blocker. How important is a blocker? Let's take to the streets for the damage. Shelter. Okay, do I let the Shelter go? This is permanent, right? I can catch him off guard with a bounce. Or I can let him target first. He's probably got a protection, right? So if I catch him off guard with a bounce, what can I do? Well, if he targets this, I can bounce the rat in response. Yeah, this is happening. So, if I bounce here, right, I'm not really gonna get much. So we'll let this happen. He's gonna target a crab, and he's gonna pump the challenger. So I'm gonna bounce my crab, and then the shelter by ghost. No. I'm not gonna bounce the shelter by ghost. I'm gonna bounce this rat. Actually, I could just target the shelter, right? So there's an idea. Nah. Let's target a crab in this rat. What happened to the target? Did it not go through? Okay. Guess I had to play through it this way. Another scavenger. What else are you doing here? What does the other say? What does the other thing say? Whenever enters... God damn it, let me do my crap. If it's not your turn, it enters tapped. That's the only thing it does. He did tap himself out, so he might think I have nothing. We'll go to the... We gave it double strike, right? In combat? Alright, so... Let's wait to the attack. 1. That's it? Okay. We'll bounce this. There's a ward. I pay the ward. It goes back. I get my crab. I tap these two. Then we go... before I go to my turn, let me scry a card. Seed of Hope. Is that useful? It is a play, right? It is a play I can make. So, okay, it's 2 plays I can make now. How useful are all these? Let's go for the attack first. See if he blocks. If he doesn't block, you go down to 4. Interesting. So that's the way you want to play it? Let's go through it. Feathered Flight. He draws a card, but I don't want to bother with it. He has a protection spell for sure. There's no lifelink. He can attack with this if he wants. Another scavenger. Why would you play this afterwards? Ethereal Armor again? Oh boy. Did you not learn anything last turn? Our opponent did not learn anything last turn. Just gonna give that double strike. Bounce my crab. Bounce your little mouse. I paid a 2. I also draw a card. They both got bounced. All of your permanents gone. Here's the crab again. I draw another card. And I tap 2 scavengers here and here. Now let's Seed of Hope. Do we Seed of Hope right now? The Seed of Hope can actually pump the Stormchaser's talent, right? Yeah, I'll do 1. Maybe I get something useful here. Nope, I don't. It's just put cards in the graveyard. Alright, fine. Do I just win? I think I just win, right? I play a crab. I draw a card. Another Seed of Hope. I tap your last scavenger. Just double tap this, why not? Take 5. Alright, GG. Weird play, but if that's a protection spell, you did not play it correctly. Alright, our opponent is Amardo96. Oh my god, we go first. That's never happened. Well, this is a terrible hand to go first on, that's for sure. Never give my Stormchaser's Talon turn 1. I can Hedge Maze. Put a card in the graveyard. Bushwhack, that's 2 cards. So then this will cost 5 instead of 7. That helps, right? No thanks. Alright, there is a Stormchaser Talon here. There's 2 Crabs. And a Bushwhack. Not great. Not great at all. So I guess we begin with the Talent, and then we'll try to Bushwhack into something. If nothing else happens. Not much of a tempo, but could happen. These hands are horrendous, man. I just don't know what's going on with this deck, but it's definitely trolling me with these hands. We'll play a Stormchaser's Talent. Let's begin the tempo. Let the commencement begin, you late. Black. Alright, nothing so far. I don't have to Bushwhack, because I do have a Scry now. So we will... Oh, I'm going to play the Hedge Maze. Seed of Hope. I'm going to put that in the graveyard. There was no play. So I'm going to Scry next turn. I'm going to try to get as many cards in the graveyard as possible for my Tolarian Terror. That's the idea, right? So even though Seed of Hope is a good card, it can go. He's playing Bandit's Talent. No, I know what to discard here. But I guess I'm going to play Opt in response. Maybe I get a less useful card. Oh, okay, not a less useful card, that's for sure. Alright, time to discard the Bushwhack. Alright. Up them beans, please. It's gonna make me discard a lot of cards. And we're mana screwed. Yay. That's another one of those games, huh? Bandit's Talent. Well, that might help me. I don't really want the Seed of Hope in my hand. I'd much rather it go into the graveyard. Level 2. Even this. Nope. Can I draw a land? No 2 cards. No. But I do get a Terror. Oh, I milled it instant. Oh. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Here comes the Terror. They are terrifying. Tiny Bones? Alright. Deep cat. Good luck. You see my hand? You wish you haven't seen my hand? Are they terrifying or what? You want to take the Bushwhack, right? Probably take the Bushwhack here. I still have the Crabs, which I can tap down his board. Does he have the removal, though? I mean, even if he has a removal, do I really care? Let's play the Crab first. Could get a land that's useful. I do. Get a land that's useful. I'm going to tap down the Tiny Bones, and might as well tap down the Bat. It's not doing much to me. Play another Terror. What else can I draw here? I draw the Bushwhack anyways. Alright, do they have the Deadly Cover-Up this turn? That's a land. You need exactly the cover-ups. Ruthless Negotiation. Well, there's a land I don't need. It's gone. Good luck with that. Does that do anything for you? Go for the throw on my crab. Dude. That's not very nice. I'm crab people. I don't think he can attack with the bat, but he might have to attack with the bat. He's got 2 more mana left, so that is a spell that he can use. So I'm gonna... Target creature you control, fight target creature you don't control. Kill that bat. Now I'll play the Terror. Then I'm gonna Bushwhack target creature. The new Terror against this Tiny Bones. I don't really mind if this Terra dies. I just don't want him to target this Otter. And now, lethal time. You want to go for my hand? Why don't you keep your life alive? Keep your life alive? You know what I meant. Dead. GG. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all of those games, how does this deck feel? Does it feel tempo-y? Does it feel fast? You bet your behind this deck is fast. It's such a good aggressive deck. But it does suffer from every single tempo deck that I ever played, which is the go second syndrome, right? On Arena, if you know what you're doing, you're going to be going second so often. I don't know what their algorithm is, but I go second about 70 to 80% of the games. Sometimes I would say it's 90, but let's be fair, right? 70 to 80%. I go first sometimes, but very rarely. And I go second all the time, especially when I play a tempo deck. So I hate playing tempo decks for that exact reason. They're not bad. Tempo decks are amazing. If you go first half the time, you're gonna win at least those half the time with going first. That feels great, right? But if you are like me and you go second a lot, that's why I like to play control, where going second is not that much of a detriment. This deck definitely wants to go first and then curve into the correct place. Now, in addition to that, there is another component. That is, you want to turn one Stormchaser's talent as much as possible. This is how you actually get the tempo. After you have the Stormchaser talent out with the 1/1 Otter, now a lot of people actually fight the Otter. Then what happens is that we can play our turn 2 play, turn 3 play, and every one of those plays grow the Otter and attack our opponent for more than just 1 damage. And because of that, they die a lot quicker. So that's the whole idea. Of course, there's probably some fine-tuning that can be done about this deck. Maybe more into the Flood Maw, maybe actually, yeah, maybe more to the Flood Maw. That's the only thing I can think of. If there is a Thought Scour instead of an Op, that would be better. I do like Surveil better than Scry, but right now that's not in standard, so that's the shell that we're using. And let's see, let's see how this deck actually shapes out in the long run. I do think this is a very strong deck. In best of 1 meta, because it's tempo, it will always catch somebody off guard, and you'll be able to sneak some wins in. So yeah, I am confident in saying that this deck will get over 50% win rate in most players' hands, and that's a pretty good deck in all things considered. That's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.